It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wants to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wants to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It is Medical Rundown Tuesday. We are here for another episode. Very interesting conversation today, in fact, that we are going to be having with the good folks over at Health City, Cayman Islands. So give us a quick minute, just grabbing some links, and then we are going to be ready to go. I had to do a little refresh there. There was something, a little bug in the system this morning, but that's okay. We got it all sorted out. So, of course, we've got lots of conversation for you today, lots of interesting information. One thing about Health City is they're always bringing the facts, and that's what we like here on this program about your health and wellness, and that's really important. Trust and believe. I love the topics that they bring to the forefront. And if you have any recommendations, maybe there's something that you'd like to learn a bit about that you haven't heard covered or maybe covered in a while, then feel free to send through a message, and we pass those along to Health City so that they can know exactly what topics you guys are interested in. But they seem to be hitting it pretty much on the, on the head. The menopause one last week was very popular. I got so many comments about that. Lots of women pleased that it is being discussed in an open, medical platform where they can get as much information as possible. And the funny thing is, just last week, like since the show, I actually saw a post on the women's group where someone was saying that they were struggling with menopause, and they wanted to know who they could go to an island. I said, well, look at that. And I reminded them or informed them, because I guess they didn't even know, that Health City has now set up this comprehensive menopause clinic with all the experts basically in one location waiting to serve you. So let's go ahead and invite Shamari Scott onto the program. And I want you guys to give a big shout out to Shamari this morning because he's got a bit of good news. We're celebrating with him. So good morning, Shamari. Welcome.
Good morning, Sandy. How are you?
Good, good. How you doing?
I am awesome. I'm in the Christmas chair. You can see.
Ah,
Got my I got
yes.
my Christmas tree here with me today.
Awesome, awesome. I
It
love it.
blinks. You see? And I don't know if the good news you might be talking about might be too good news, but guess what? 4 games in a
Oh,
row.
no way.
The Miami Dolphins have won 4 games in a row. I don't know once again whether to be upset or happy. We're holding on by a thread. There's a small percentage chance if we win out that we potentially could reach the playoffs. But yeah,
Yes.
we just keep winning. So let's see. Isn't
Yeah,
that
yeah.
amazing?
Well, miracle. They
Marvelous.
say miracles happen every day, right? Um, there's something a little bit buggy with your mic since last week, though, Shamari. I don't know what it is. We're gonna have to sort you out there. But no, I was gonna say that that was not the good news that I was
Better?
talking about.
Better?
Hi,
Can you hear me
hi.
now? Better?
Yes, I think that's a little bit better. Keep that going. We're gonna keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. It's kind of like a little bit of a strange feedback, but anyway, let's see how that goes. But yes, well, congratulations. I still have my suspicions. I must tell you about the players. I think that they just wanted to fire the coach.
Well, the coach is still there. It's
I
the
mean,
general manager,
the manager.
right?
Yeah. I feel
So
like
the
they
coach
wanted to
needs to.
fire him.
I think I'm done with the coach as well, but I'm not sure. They might hold on with him for another year, but we'll see what the new GM wants to do.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations on another win.
Oh,
That's
definitely, definitely
yeah,
excited
that's
about that.
fantastic. But the good news that I wanted to talk about is you have just been recognized for
Oh, yes.
amazing, I mean, just amazing, really, talent, hard work, the works, right? Tell us a little
Yes.
bit about this award. I mean, I know you're not here to talk about yourself today, but we can't let this slide by.
No,
Um,
definitely. Thank you,
this
Sandy.
is this is big news.
So,
Yeah.
CMEX, which is the a Caribbean organization that has over decades now been at the forefront of elevating the Caribbean's voice at a global level
Hmm.
throughout the different islands. They also at times sit at seats when it has to deal with global issues and connecting Caribbean leaders with other leaders around the world as well, and they have an award ceremony for distinguished Caribbean leaders. And I guess based on the impact that the team that I've had the pleasure to work along with both in tourism as well
Hmm.
as now with Health City, elevating Health City as one of the premier healthcare brands in the Caribbean, as well as a lot of I guess the recognition that Health City has gotten on a global stage as well. When you look at all the articles over the years, we've gotten some top-notch publications, whether it was USA Today, Forbes, Harvard Business Review, and the such. They thought it, necessary to go ahead and bestow this honor on me to be able to, receive this leadership award, a Caribbean Leadership Award, and it's a little bit difficult to speak about yourself, but I went and on behalf of the obviously the Cayman Islands as well as Hell City and my tourism counterparts previously was honored to accept the award that was given. And on the stage, I was able in my acceptance speech to just speak to the fact that a lot of times like the tip of an iceberg, you accolades and the individuals that people see is just the tip, but they
Hmm.
don't quite see the underbelly, which is the huge mass of dedication and toil that would actually
Hmm.
go into being able to be recognized. But a lot
Hmm.
of times it's your support system at home that people don't see. So I actually dedicated the award to my wife because
Mm,
she is the person that, she is a CPA in her own right. She's an executive in her own right. She
mhm,
works for two companies, doing a great job at what she does from a finance and customer service perspective. But she's
mm,
also the person who holds down the household, who makes sure that everything is where it needs to be, who takes a lot of the stress. Yes, I'm involved, but takes a lot of the stress of the day to day with the kids off my plate so that I
mm.
can succeed. So I definitely was proud to actually accept the award, but to say it's really an award not only for myself, yes, for Health City, yes, for tourism, but also for my wife because I wouldn't be able to be successful if it wasn't for her.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was a great event, well organized. They had music, they had different
Mhm.
clips, they had great MCs, they had a lot of dignitaries from the Caribbean there, and it was really amazing, and I was honored to be able to receive the award.
Yes. So, folks, again, this award ceremony took place this weekend in Miami at the Coral Gables Hotel, and yeah, Shamari was selected. How big was the competition? Because I think for people to
So,
appreciate this.
so yeah, so there would have obviously been hundreds of
Mhm,
applications that would have come in, and those that were recognized would have been the top six, if I recall,
mhm,
from all different walks of life within the Caribbean. Some entrepreneurs, some hoteliers, one junior minister. So there were various individuals that would have received from many different islands. So I think there was one from Barbados, Curacao, Martinique, um, Trinidad, if I recall, and Jamaica, and obviously Cayman Islands as well.
mhm. Yep. So congrats. I mean, this is quite a recognition. And it shows again that, Caymanians are competing on the global stage and doing very, very well. So I know you should hopefully take a moment to celebrate with your family. And I saw that your mom also posted something about how incredibly proud she was also. So yeah, congrats. This is wonderful. Stacy's
Thank you.
here saying, well done, Shamari. Yes, good morning. Congrats, says Island Pearl. We always want to recognize when our people are doing amazing things to acknowledge their work. This is just a moment we wanted to pause here this morning and acknowledge Shamari. And like he said, his wife, his lovely wife, which you guys see here in the program all the time, she also makes it possible. And I think, big shout out to all supporting family members who sometimes have to step in and, pick up the slack and help out, when it's needed. Because a lot of professionals you're making the sacrifice with maybe less time here and there. And, you've got someone at home who's like, you know what, I got you. And that's really important. Speaking from personal
Definitely.
experience, I know how important that support can be. So congrats. Let's show a little picture of you and Nichelle here. We can't do without showing that. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
And I must say it always warms my heart that the two of you, are strong Caymanian professionals raising Caymanian boys, which is
Three
you know,
boys. Three
I
boys.
yeah. I know that must be at times a very interesting journey, but we need good parents raising good young men in our community. So thank you so much for that. So Strong Wilt says Shamari to the world. I wonder where Johan is this morning. He'll have to call you something else other than Dr. Shamari. KK says, job well done. Such a smart man. Keep striving. Hashtag Caymanians doing it big. Barbara G sending some congratulations as well. And Irvlyn is here for it. She says, congrats, Shamari. Jasara sending some love your way as well. So from all of us here with the CMR Massive, as Irvlyn says, again, congratulations.
Definitely, and also just wanted to mention that I have had the pleasure of having such great teams throughout my career,
Mhm.
whether it was bosses and or colleagues or the support team that help you to achieve many years in tourism in many different positions and came across such great people there. that all were rowing in the same direction. And then obviously being new to the medical field, but the reason I wisely chose my next step was because I understood the quality of not only the people, but the vision and what we were going to be able to do at Hell City. And this is a testament to all the people that I work with, and all of the great things that they do that I have the benefit of speaking about and being a part of the strategy and seeing all of the value that obviously tourism, but now Health City has now given to the Cayman Islands. Because anytime I go anywhere, whether it's in Central America or the Caribbean for business, people are just glowing at the fact that Health City is great and who we've touched. And what I need to mention is, and we'll have to find a testimonial,
Mm-hmm.
one of the awardees, and she was, I think she's Bayesian now, but originally from the UK, and she won an award, and she came up and gave me the biggest hug afterwards, and
Oh.
she was like, do you remember, and said the patient's name, I won't say the patient's name just to make sure that we have that testimonial. And I was like, yes, the testimonial was done. She was on vacation visiting her in Barbados, had a
Mm.
serious medical ailment, was air ambulance to Health City. She's like, the doctors gave her like 1% chance of living.
Oh my
You
God.
all saved her life. She's like, can I have a picture? I have to send it to my friend. She was
Oh
visiting her in
wow.
Barbados and had a major issue. They got through to us, air ambulance her to us. She only had a 1% chance of living, and she went home walking and better than ever. And she gave me a big hug, took a picture, we videoed, we spoke. And I have to bring that video testimonial because it was so amazing to see that another honoree at
Mhm.
this actual ceremony had her best friend impacted positively by the Cayman Islands, but
Mhm.
also by Health City. And I found that to just be so that receiving the award obviously would have been great.
Mhm.
Being there with other great Caribbean people obviously would have been great, but that's why we do what we do. And the fact that another honoree was there and so excited to see me and hug me, even though she had never met me, um, due to the fact that we saved her best friend's life.
Oh
And
my
that's
God.
what it's about. Yeah.
That's so amazing. So amazing. And I know that you guys get these sort of, acknowledgments all the time. Um, because I myself have witnessed and seen people be like, "Oh my gosh, this is what Health City did for me." And so it's humbling, no doubt, to be working for an organization that is literally saving lives and changing people's outcomes. We're going to be discussing a really important topic, smart healing. Again, innovation at its best. So we're going to be talking about some of the things that I'm always on this program going on and on about AI and, technological advances. Well, folks, technological advances are touching our lives in the world of medicine as well. I always said, I think sometimes Dr. Benoit is like, does Sandy just think that I have nothing to do but to read her articles? Shamari, sometimes I send them to you as well, right?
Yep, 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 yep.
I read a lot and I pay attention to a lot, and I love when I see advances happening in the world of medicine. So whenever I come across something of interest, I send it a lot of times to Dr. Benoit or Shamari to go, check this out. This is interesting. And so that's part of what we're going to be talking about here today, this smart healing. Let's go ahead and bring in Stephen Ebanks to the program. Stephen is one of the many Caymanians that works at Health City Cayman Islands, and he is in the IT department. He's head of information technology. So Stephen
Right.
has his finger on the pulse of what is going on in the world of technology. So good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks, Sandy. How are you?
I'm doing
Morning,
good. I'm
morning.
doing good. I'm gonna try to turn your mic down just a little bit. You're coming in nice and hot. We can hear you for sure. But so good to have you in the program. Is this the first time we've actually had you on here? I feel like
I think
it might
good
be.
time. I think we were discussing a little bit about the Connect app, but I think that it was a little
Oh
while.
yes.
So I think
That would have been a while ago.
a
But
little while.
Stephen, Sandy Stephen is one of our shining stars. He's a
Yeah.
manager within our information technology area. Stephen has been with us since the beginning, more or less. He tried to escape us. He left for a short period, and then, as always, then he came back. And Stephen has been with Health City from the ground up. So,
Wow.
working with all of our teams, both overseas as well as locally. And, obviously, when you first start an entity, you need to understand what you're working with,
Mhm.
where the organization will go. And Stephen has been there every step of the way, making suggestions, understanding the ultimate goal of patient safety, as well as obviously patient confidentiality, and processes in order to make sure that patient satisfaction and qualities is top notch. And Stephen has been there hand in glove with the
Mhm.
team, and we're proud to have Stephen. And he's now a superstar in that he's outside of Hell City. People ask him to be a part of commercials and to speak
Yeah.
about information technology, and we're just happy
Mhm.
to see Stephen, excelling as well. So pleasure to have Stephen on here today.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Well,
Thank you.
welcome back. Welcome back. So good to have you on here. So let's talk a little bit about the smart healing at Health City because, as you know, Stephen, the advancement in technology is just amazing. I feel like we're living in such it's like a scary time, but then it's also super exciting at the same time because the scary part is the technology is just so amazing that you kind of feel like how many of us are going to be out of a job because of the technology, but we have to see it as an asset and how we can use it to really enhance our lives. So Cal City seems to have a real commitment to always looking at the benefits of technology, whether it's the latest piece of, MRI equipment, just to help patients, recovery, everything in the NICU is like the latest and greatest technology. So working in an environment like that, how do you keep pace? I'm just kind of curious about how you keep pace with all of the medical advances that are happening and all of the sort of technology that is now out there, and especially as you embark on this smart healing journey at Health City.
It's like you said. I mean, like every day there's something new that's coming out that what we can do to integrate with our systems and make more efficient for the patient. Make it easier for them, right? So we're always
Mhm.
looking at new ideas, new ways to make the flow a lot more efficient, especially here at Health City.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, it's one thing for sure is that, as you said, like security is definitely a high priority for us now,
Right.
especially in an organization like ours. Like we are on top of everything between breaches and knowing what could happen, kind of to put those preventive measures in place, but also try to make the overall experience great.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, we're going to go through some of it here this morning. And
And
when we're
Sandy,
talking, yes.
not to touch you, Sandy, but what's also great is because Health City is part of the Narayana Health umbrella,
Mhm.
which has over 40 hospitals and embedded units within India, and second largest private healthcare provider within India. We also have the advantage of testing our systems in India. And India is one of the technology hubs as well in the world.
Mhm.
So we have the advantage of testing our systems there, understanding what works, and Stephen working with those teams, then using some of those cutting edge technology that we know works because it's worked in other areas to then use in Cayman as well. So I think that's
Mhm.
also important, the fact that we have this huge parent company that allows us to be able to test and understand what works, and then we can actually use it in our units here in Cayman as well.
Mhm. Yeah, fantastic. Um, and that means that when it gets to Cayman, it's already been put through the ringer. It's already been tested, which is important for us to have, that opportunity really. But Stephen, we're talking about a lot here. We're going to get into some of the details, but really this concept of smart healing is referring to the integration of medical technology, data intelligence, and human compassion because you can't forget that part of the equation, right? It's not just about the technology. You've always got to have that human compassion and human touch. And that's where the physicians and the support staff, especially, come into play, but really to improve every step of the patient's experience from diagnosis to recovery. And so we're looking at some very, very specific things, AI driven insights to support faster, more accurate diagnosis. Can you tell us how AI is revolutionizing life and patient care at Health City?
We currently use Meta is one of our parent companies also, which is part of NH, and they do a lot of AI integrations with our medical platform. So I mean, it's between how we register a patient to the flows of how it's being processed, how it collects data is a lot more efficient now than what just us basically doing manual entry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, the AI is definitely a big part of what we're trying to integrate for Health City Cayman. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because when the average person thinks of AI, we're just thinking like on a really superficial level, like, oh, chat GPT and these tools, but
Right.
it goes so much further than that. The availability of what we now see, that AI is actually assisting almost as like a second pair of eyes in the world of radiology, where it's like scanning results for mammograms, and at times it's actually picking up on positive results that the human eye missed for whatever reason. A lot of times the AI doesn't have the same sort of fatigue and other things that radiologists and physicians may have. And so AI is just an amazing tool when it comes to diagnosing and reading reports. So that's, so incredibly amazing. So tell us a little bit, this meta AI, artificial intelligence that interprets clinical data and supports informed decision making. How are physicians using that in their day-to-day lives at Health City?
Well, Meta AI it's pretty much like our platform that basically like another company that we use on the day-to-day basis. It's how we integrate with our HIS. Like I really don't have the technical difficulties, so I wasn't really prepared for this one. I
Yeah,
think Dr. Benoit was supposed to speak a little bit more about this. But
no worries.
yeah, so yeah, just really on artificial intelligence. Yeah, I don't. Dr. Benoit was supposed to speak a little bit more clear. I mean, Shamari, do you have
Yeah,
insight on this?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Uh,
so, so, Sandy,
Mhm.
Dr. Shetty would always talk about the fact that, when you get into an aircraft, um, you're not depending on the skill of the pilot so much anymore to wonder if you're going to land or not. You get into the aircraft, there are processes, protocols, there are computer systems. They turn on the system. Obviously, the flight goes where it goes. You're not thinking, am I going to make it or not? Right? Whereas many, many years ago, you got on an aircraft, you're kind of wondering whether or not you might actually make it when people first started flying and there were a lot more accidents. And he's saying, why in medicine now with technology? Do you have to wonder based on the doctor's skill set whether or not I'm going to get the right diagnosis? So the
Mhm.
great thing is, obviously, even when it comes to technology, and the closest thing I can go is when it speaks to counting stars. I don't know if the technology has gotten better, but they said that they still need the human eye to count stars because computers and AI still can't do it and still will miss some things. So it's always about how you enhance and
Mhm.
never leave it fully to AI. But what it does is obviously physicians make their diagnosis, but by using AI as well, it may point out something they may have missed or ask a question that they may not have
Mhm.
thought about. And typically within Health City, we have cross physician types of scenarios where we're looking at diagnosis across different physicians to make sure that we get the best possible diagnosis with AI that adds in a different level of another eye to see whether or not they've missed anything or if they thought about X, Y, and Z. And to your point, sometimes there may be fatigue, but AI just definitely helps to enhance it further. And even with our regular persons who use AI. So, for
Mhm.
instance, myself, from a marketing perspective, um, even when I'll just use speech writing, even when I
Mhm.
needed to write a speech, I have a process, right? And I won't
Mhm.
go through where I think about my ideas early in the morning while doing something else, right? Um, but you jot them down, you write a draft, you come back, you edit it, you do your research, you
Mhm.
understand who the audience is, And it would typically take me, if I'm going to write a really good speech, I want to say upwards. I can do it in a week, but if it's a really good speech, it's going to take me
Mhm.
upward of 2 weeks to write it. With AI, I actually am able to type in the types of stories I want to tell, who
Right.
the audience is, the fact that if I'm speaking to doctors, I'm non-medical, so I still want it to resonate, but it can't be too technical. Um, and I'm able to put it in AI and get back a rough draft that I still get to where I need to get to, but I can do it in 2 days versus 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
just to use that as an example of, and it
Mhm.
still has a great impact. And I haven't seen any difference between when I wasn't using AI and when I use AI in regards to how audiences react to my speeches. And AI now within a diagnosis perspective, whereas it may have taken a doctor 5 hours to come up with a diagnosis. Now we can
Mhm.
help you to get there quicker, right? So
Yeah.
just as an example for laypersons to understand that you're not turning everything over to AI, but it's helping to enhance what you're doing quicker, as well as to ask one or two questions that you may have come to in an hour or two. It asks you that within minutes versus you thinking about it in an hour or two, just as an
Mhm.
example.
Yes, and of course, the for me one of the biggest tools is the research capability, which I use all the time. But I'm learning so many different things. I was just saying to someone last couple days ago that I've always wanted, like, secretly to be a graphic designer, doing video and whatever. And now I'm creating little videos thanks to AI.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So I don't have the technical, like, I still can't do it like from scratch, like a raw process, but I do have enough skills to try to prompt it. And I think with AI, the real skill set comes in
yes,
understanding how the technology works, and that the most critical thing to get the best sort of genuine outcome is
what
being
you put
able
in.
to give it effective prompts. So you still have to
Correct.
be on top of the game. And in relation to the specific AI tool that we're talking about here, the Meta AI system, in India, they developed just in August the first AI tool to detect heart failures in 10 seconds. That's crazy. And so this is considered a quantum leap. There's certain things that happen in different industries. When it comes to cardiac diagnostics, this is considered a quantum leap in making those sophisticated cardiac diagnoses that now can be accessible to millions of people all over the world. When it comes to healthcare facilities, you go from maybe, as Shamari said, hours of making diagnosis to now having it down to 10 seconds. This is amazing. So, these tools offer rigorous validation of multiple prestigious sites all across the world. And again, the Institute of Cardiac Sciences there in India connected to, help me pronounce it, Shamari, your parent company.
Narayana?
Narayana. In
Yeah.
Ariana. Yeah. So this is the Mazumdar Shah Medical Center in Narayana Health City. They're in Bengaluru. I always
Oh,
hope I'm
yes.
pronouncing these correctly.
Bangalore, but yeah, Bangalore, but yeah, they call it
Yeah.
Bangalore. Yeah, yeah.
You're doing good, man.
So
You're doing good.
you're doing great. You're using
You get
the traditional name, Sandy. You're doing well. You're doing well.
Yeah, yeah. So this medical breakthrough is going
Yes.
to transform cardiac care delivery, not just in India, but right here in the Cayman Islands as well, because again, we get the benefit from the Narayana Health, sort of system, right?
Yes.
And so this is just amazing. The
And
model, the
and
artificial intelligence model, is actually capable of predicting heart function from a standard ECG image in just 10 seconds.
yeah.
Mind blown. Like, that's
Yep.
amazing. That really is amazing.
And
So they
and
have a research team there at the Health Cities. They actually have Narayana's Health's clinical research team and Meta AI, the healthcare giant's advanced analytics and AI division. have been working together to get this tool to where it is. And so this now is something that is rolling out, to the Cayman Islands as well. So big shout out to Dr. Devi Shetty, of course, who's founder and chairman of the Nadiana Health. And this cutting edge technology is going to really help solve problems at such an amazing scale. Because the quicker you can get a proper diagnosis, the quicker they can get you the care that you need.
And Sandy, it would have been about a decade ago, maybe closer to 7 years ago, that Dr. Shetty understood that the next wave and the next advances and the next frontier was going to be technology.
Yeah.
Um, so he actually took a lot of the investments in getting software engineers and IT people to have hundreds within the umbrella to start to develop systems to help doctors to be better at what they do and to help with the information and knowing that the future was technology and the fact that eventually we'll get to a point where only reason you come to a hospital is if you need surgery, but outside of that, whether it is, and now we're seeing it, right, where you have
Mhm.
wearables that can measure all of your vitals and can actually go to a system where if you start to have, especially in our more mature population, if you start
Mhm.
to have elevated levels, you can get people to come and give house calls and to make sure that you're taking your medicines, whereas previously there's a vacuum. Us patients, for the most part, hopefully are compliant, but a lot of patients aren't compliant, and then we'll show up to an ER when it's obviously still going to help and try and save, but it's
Mhm.
much your situation has deteriorated to a point where you're going to an emergency room.
Mhm.
This is to
Mhm.
catch things early and to make sure that wellness is a part of it and healthy living and to help people to do the right thing. And it's all tied in with that technology, right? And if you look worldwide, a lot of expense happens because people bottleneck at emergency rooms.
Mhm.
Whereas if you can reach them where they are through technology,
Yep.
then you take away that expense as well as you increase the quality of living as well. And once again, always a visionary. Dr. Shetty knew what was coming, even though he didn't know exactly what iteration, but put
Mhm.
his money where his mouth was as an organization to heavily invest in technology. And we're starting to see the benefits not only for Health City, but obviously for our patients across Health City and throughout India. And now that we have obviously the new acquiring of the facilities in the UK, um, one of the largest private healthcare providers in the UK as well. We've
Mhm.
acquired those 16 hospitals. You're going to see that technology play in the UK as well within those hospitals.
Mhm. Absolutely. And let me just share this, speaking of my research capabilities. One of the really amazing things about this technology, but again, the connection with Mariana is that literally you have so many patients, you have like a pool of patients available in India, that you can collect data from. And what they have done in this particular instance is they've actually trained the AI model to read over 100,000 ECG images. Now you can imagine for us to have tried to do that here in the Cayman Islands, it would have probably taken years and years and years to even get that available data. And it was much easier for them to do that in India, to have it trained on all of these ECG models. And then they paired that with the echocardiogram reports. And then the AI model then underwent rigorous testing. It says here that would make any pharmaceutical trial proud. And in these external validation across 14 tertiary care centers, they actually involved over 57,000 patients. And the results are remarkable, with the system, the AI model, actually identifying correctly 97% of individuals with severely reduced ejection fractions. And so what that really meant is that they were flagged earlier, high risk patients who had an average of 58 days pre flagging. So, they would have had to basically wait several more months to get that diagnosis. And that really allowed the team to get ahead of their cardiac care. So, I mean, when you're talking about heart health and cardiac care, 2 months, days, 3 weeks is amazing, but 58 days is quite an accomplishment. So this is innovation. This is the technology. We do have a suggestion here from Deidre. Deidre says, "Hey there, Sandy. Could you pass along a suggestion? As the discussion is about medical tech, my friend recently received an MRI at Cayman Bay Health City, which is a lovely hospital. She received the MRI results report on a CD. This might as well be a Christmas ornament, as the only medical professionals she need to talk to about her MRI results who don't have CD readers. As the other medical, sorry. Yes. Perhaps Health City should consider using thumb drives or providing a password protected portal for other medical professionals." That's a good idea, actually, because a lot of
There,
computers now don't come with a CD drive anymore. Yeah.
Stephen can speak to that, but we also send direct to other medical facilities with portals as well. So at times it depends on how it's requested. We still have CDs because some medical facilities, believe it or not, still use CDs, right? So
Okay.
we still have to provide CDs as well as we're able to do it direct to other medical facilities. And even if you have your Connect app, um, for medical records and the such, it can also be accessed by patients through their Connect app as well. But
Hmm.
definitely a great suggestion. So probably just need to do a better job from a communication perspective, outlining, the various ways. But when doctors to doctors, physician to physician, when they speak, because they do, whether through patient care reps or not, we make sure that we provide in the format that they would also want to have it as well. Stephen?
Hmm.
And just to note, yeah, links are also provided. So it's based on whatever the patient actually would like it, in what format they would like it. I mean, yes, we're working on a patient portal that they will be able to access their own images at a later date. It's still under the works. We just want it to work efficiently. But as of right now, if they requested a CD, they could get a CD, or they could request a link, which we can provide them with a link with a password protected, so on. So both
Hmm.
options are available at this time. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much, DG, for that question. A very, very good question.
Definitely a good question.
Yeah, then they're here to answer these. So wonderful. All right. So we were talking about the AI-driven insights and diagnosis. We also have the robotic precision. Now we know that robotic surgery is something that is happening. In fact, just the other day, I saw something where they did the first completely remote surgery using robotics. I mean, I'm just blown away by exactly what is happening in the medical profession. But here, in the Cayman Islands, we saw you guys are doing, robotic assisted surgery. And so amazing once again.
Definitely. And I know that just as an example where Dr. Naranjan would have come on before, and it speaks to the point where, when you're doing orthopedics and it's minute cuts,
Mhm.
obviously the great skill of the physician helps you to make those minute cuts. However, having a GPS type technology which plants exactly where you need to go, precision cuts to make sure that they're as straight as possible, just once again, with the physician's skill, further enhances the surgeries that they're doing, which once again helps with the outcomes, whether or not they need to shave an implant to fit more perfectly within, because not everybody's body is the same, right? Even though some of our parts within obviously are within certain parameters, but everyone's a little bit different. To be able to
Mhm.
customize is a part of the robotic precision as
Mhm.
well. And that's just using orthopedics as an example. And even when it comes to AI, and we'll need Dr. Robnish to come on to speak to this one, from a stroke perspective, we're using AI technology to be able to identify strokes quicker in emergency perspective, share information quicker between physicians so that when somebody does turn up, you're able to go right in. So we always know that time is muscle, time is brain, heart muscle if a heart attack, brain if it is a stroke. And with a
Mhm.
Dr. Romnish, as an example, as an interventional neurologist that can actually go in minimally invasively and extract clots to reverse the effects of a stroke if it's within a certain time period. This AI technology just helps to speed the time by
Mhm.
which we're able to do certain procedures, to increase obviously the the chances of survival in certain cases, as well as the quality of life, the quicker you're able to get in as well. So AI is only helping to enhance, and we'll see the further technology over time. I'm sure years from now, what our children are seeing, they're going to wonder that, how we used to go to surgery in the caveman times, which would be
Yeah.
now based on all the technology that would be available then.
Yeah. No, 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 absolutely. And I was just having a quick look because I knew for sure I sent this one to Dr. Benoit because it was so interesting. But yes, I did send him this one about a surgeon in Rome performing remote surgery on a patient in Beijing. It's just, amazing. So yeah, we're on the cusp of greatness. When I was reading some of the comments on that post, people are like, well, sure, all the surgeons will soon be performing surgery in China, all over the world, and India, all over the world. But the positives is that you can get very complex assistance. Obviously, you still have a team of medical professionals in the room with the patient. It's not like the patient's in there by themselves, but you can get very, very complex procedures done or assisted with because of the technology, the robotic technology and precision, the advanced imaging and so forth that's also available out there. So, there's no harm in utilizing the technology to benefit patient care. So,
And Sandy,
yeah.
we've come on previously and spoken about the Da Vinci machine, our robot, the Da
Mhm.
Vinci robot, with Dr. Benoit. And I think we even had a video where it shows that it's interesting. I'm a big NPR fan, right? And I
Yep.
remember listening to a program on NPR, and it was saying that one of the top skill sets that they're looking for future doctors, obviously you have to meet the criteria by passing your science and to be academically gifted. But we're gamers, right? Because the dexterity of using the actual consoles, the way medicine is going, it's going to be more of a console. And the robotic machine with the Da Vinci, it actually, you put your hands in and you use the actual levers that the robotic hands has 360 degrees, which obviously your wrist doesn't.
Mhm.
So you're able to actually go in and do things you regularly couldn't do with your hands. So it's actually using the robot. So I can see where obviously you have a physician using a console to do a surgery, even though they're present. It's not a far leap for
Mhm.
that to be a physician that, yes, is behind a wall here at Health City, but in the future, potentially that physician could be hundreds of miles away. But you still, as you said, obviously would have a team here. We're not there yet because we have all the greatest physicians here on
Mhm.
island, but I can see the evolution of
Yes.
robotic surgery and where it's definitely going.
Yeah, and we do have a video that we're going to share here in just a bit. But really, this concept of smart healing is integrating seamless communication technology, ensuring continuity of care across locations, and also securing digital infrastructure, using secure digital infrastructure that protects patient data while streamlining hospital operations. And from a security perspective, I know that Stephen touched on this already. This is one of the risks of having everything sort of electronic these days, is that means that there can be potential breaches. And so this is an area that any hospital that is serious about patient care has to continually be on top of, because we've seen people all over the world, again, hacking into hospital systems in the US and Europe, and holding institutions basically hostage over their patient data and their patient information. So, you gotta use that technology, but at the same time secure it and keep people out who are not intended to
And
get into your systems.
And trust me, Steven and his team drive me crazy with this triple authentication, and I have to have on my phone and get a number and put
Yeah.
it in the system, and then the system sends an email. I have to check it from somewhere else to make sure. Yeah, so I mean, just from a marketer's perspective,
Yeah.
and obviously, I don't have access to patient information, but we're on a system
Yep.
that has confidential information. Stephen and team I can vouch that that makes it very safe
Yeah,
for
definitely the
the
understanding of it,
user.
right? Yeah. So make
Yeah.
sure we definitely thorough with it and we understand like understanding what is being applied to everything we put into it. Monitoring. Yeah. Definitely the monitoring is what keeps us going, right? This the
Yeah.
ensure there's no loopholes, right? We don't want anything like you said, any breaches or anything else. So it's a
Mhm.
consistency that we work on every day just to make sure that the environment is safe.
Absolutely. We do have a question from a listener. They said, "Good morning, Sandy. Can you please ask the team this question? On the Connect app, a patient could see the doctor's note, but now that's not on the portal. So it seems like something has changed. Are you aware, Stephen?"
Yeah, we're currently doing. We had some little hiccups here. We're working on the issue. Before that was actually available. We should have that resolved here in probably a few weeks. With just some technical difficulties, some back end stuff that we're trying to work to make it more efficient. We
Okay.
want to make sure it's right, so we just kind of put a hold on it just for the time being. Yeah. So
Okay.
hopefully we'll have it up here in another week or two. Yeah.
All right. That's good. And what I love about I've never actually personally used the portal. Shame on me. As much as I go to Health City, I really should.
Come
I have
on.
to I have to admit, I know
We need you.
I need to get with the program here. But generally speaking, what I love about having stuff like that, like on your phone, is no matter where you go, you can pull it up. So when we
Yeah.
had last Christmas, for example, Marlon's cousins were visiting from the UK, and Shamari, his cousin's wife has a ongoing cardiac issue. It's a lifelong diagnosis that she has to manage, and I had no idea. So when she was kind of telling me about it, because her daughter was like, sometimes I'm so scared for my mom's health, and I'm like, why? And basically, she could have a cardiac event at any time and die. And I was like, oh my God, really? And I said, well, did you know that we have like Health City here, like the best in the world? And she had no idea. So we got her an appointment before she left. And the great thing is, she did have all of her available results and reports and everything right in her phone that she could show the teams here, the cardiologists here. And, they were able to, being from the UK, of course, delays are like crazy there. So she was, one of the big complaints is, she can't get into cardiologists unless a GP like refers her. And they're like, no, you're fine. They're still like putting her off. And so she had questions for a cardiologist, and she was able to get in to Health City, have them examine her past records. They did some testing here as well, and they were able to give her some comfort in terms of, even the medication that she was placed on, which the physicians in the UK hadn't properly advised her of
Mm,
how it worked, because
right.
if it doesn't start to give her results within a certain amount of time, apparently the side effects are not really good. So she needs to come off of it. And she had no idea that, in 3 months' time, she should be doing certain tests to see if that medication was actually working, because the physicians in the UK just didn't tell her that. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
so it's but having the patient have access to their information is also really, really critical,
Yeah.
because then they
Definitely.
can get second opinions. They can, have that at their fingertips to be able to show a doctor, well, okay, this is what my last ECG or ultrasound or whatever looked like, and you've got it right there. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much to that listener to the program for that question, and they're going to be getting that sorted out really soon. So we've seen the Da Vinci surgical robot, which is a robotic assisted surgical platform enabling precision and control. We've also heard of on this program here about the Cori robotic system, which again allows for advanced orthopedic technology for computer guided joint procedures. So these are some of the systems that Health City Cayman Islands is utilizing, that's really cutting edge. We've got 4D, no longer 3D, folks, 4D ultrasound, which is high definition imaging system for detailed prenatal and diagnostic views. Wow. I don't even think they had that when I had my daughter. It was still like 3D.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. They
so
would not.
amazing.
I don't think so. Yeah. 'Cause that's a
Yeah.
while now, Sandy.
Yeah, I know. Don't remind me. 9 years already. But yeah, I mean, and again, this really helps you to obviously, especially when it comes to prenatal care, there are things that, your OBGYN, that team really wants to maybe measure and look at in terms of the baby's features and different things that can tell you ahead of time if you have any concerns. Well, let's watch the video that we have provided to us, and then we'll come back and start to wrap things up.
It's not just about diagnosis or procedures. It's the hands that guide you through uncertainty, that comfort you when answers are hard, that help you take the next step, and the technology that extends their reach. With Meta AI, information becomes insight. Meta gives clarity to the hands that guide your care, transforming data into choices that keep you safer and healthier. When a stroke happens, every second counts. Rapid AI instantly connects your care team, giving your doctors what you need most: time in their hands wherever they are. In the stillness of a mammogram room, certainty matters. Here, advanced imaging reveals the smallest changes, or no change at all, turning fear into relief. Hands refined through years of practice. The Da Vinci robot that translates every motion into unmatched precision. Joining hands and arms, they make surgery gentler, recovery faster, and scars smaller. The Cori robot sees what's beneath the surface, mapping each joint with accuracy. Skilled hands use that knowledge to restore balance and strength in every step. The remarkable clarity of 4D ultrasound means the connection is already there before you even meet your little miracle. Every breathtaking detail, the rhythm of a heartbeat, the curl of a tiny hand, makes you feel closer than ever. This is care empowered by technology. This is the future in your hands.
Wow. I mean, I'm in awe. That's a great video, actually, I must say. Okay. All right. So, these are again some of the systems that Health City is utilizing. They have Microsoft Teams, but at a different level. It's the Brava integration, which is a communication system linking staff across sites for secure, continuous collaboration, which is really, really important. Even in the hospital, I mean, I'm in awe of the little workstations that they have where they can just pull up everything. But even the internal, what's that system called, Stephen, where they can send that little thing through the chute in the hospital, and then it can like deliver medicine.
Yeah, so like our duct system, I can't. I know, I can tell, but I can't remember the correct name.
Yeah,
Terminology for it.
the
Pneumatic
pneumatic
chute.
system.
Sorry, pneumatic chute.
Yeah, even that, being able to send whether it's like samples or whatever from reports like quickly from one location physically to another location, because that is built in to the physical infrastructure there at Health City Camana Bay is just, I think, amazing. So benefits, precision, and safety. So robotics, robots like the Da Vinci surgical system and Cori robot knee platform help surgeons perform with enhanced accuracy, resulting in smaller incisions, less pain, and faster recovery. Speed and connectivity. So tools like the Rapid AI connect emergency and neurology teams instantly when seconds matter. And, that can be life or death for patients. And for an example, stroke management, heart attack, and cardiac events as well. And clarity in imaging, the 4D technology delivering remarkable visual details, giving clinicians and families greater confidence in prenatal and diagnostic care. So, really, really on the cutting edge. Thank you guys so much for this, and lots of information here about the World Health Organization, for example, reports that AI and digital health tools can improve clinical workflow efficiencies between 30 to 40%, which is a significant improvement when integrated into hospital systems. Global Market Insights 2024 projects that the healthcare AI market will exceed $200 billion by 2030, underscoring the worldwide adoption of smart health solutions. And once again, WHO's global strategy in digital health 2020 to 2025 emphasizes that responsible use of technology is vital to achieving universal health coverage. And, it also impacts cost. The more these tools are available, the more effective treatments can be, but more cost effective treatments can be as well for patients.
Oh,
Yep.
definitely.
This is the future of healthcare. This is it. So thank you guys so much, Stephen. Big shout out to Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yep, the Movember special is over. That was from November. So, but we were supposed to be doing some giveaways today,
No, that's
Shamari.
next week. We need
Oh, we're
Dr.
gonna do
Benoit
it
for
next.
that. So
Oh,
Dr.
okay.
Benoit was in
All right.
surgery, so we'll come back next
Okay.
week.
Awesome.
I'll
And
have
you
my
come
Santa
with your
hat,
Santa hat. All right.
and hopefully it'll be five weeks in a row that the Dolphins would have won next week as well.
You'll have lots more to celebrate.
So I don't know if you know, my wife hates the fact that two things. I always get socks. She's like, you don't need any more socks. You don't need any more mugs. So you would know from the trip in Europe, I was always looking at her. She's like, no more mugs.
Oh,
But I was
yeah.
able to sneak in.
Oh my gosh. So crazy.
So,
I was
so
gonna say socks because I also know that Shamari likes to represent with the socks as well. So
that's right. And so I can't show you which socks I have on
There
today.
you
oh,
go. Yeah.
there we go. There we go. Yeah.
Christmas,
Yep. Yes.
Christmas. So,
Let's just say that Michelle puts up with a lot.
she does.
Well, thank you so much, Shamari.
Oh,
Thank you so much,
thank you.
Stephen Ebanks.
Thank
Really
you. Thank
appreciate
you.
you
Thank you,
guys
Sandy.
coming on to the program today.
Well,
Have a
definitely.
good
And
one.
Sandy,
Yes.
just to say that we're always looking to the future and to be
Yes.
cutting edge, and that's why it's so good to be a part of an organization that is always looking to do things for the benefit of our end
Yeah.
goal, which is our patient. And having great people like Stephen, who drive us crazy with all of the security features. As you said, it's important to have all this technology, but you also need to, at times, tether it a little bit, go a little bit slower in order to make sure that safety, patient safety, as well as safety of information is paramount. And that's what
Mhm.
Stephen and the team does. And we're so proud to have Stephen, who has grown within the organization,
Mhm.
and has upped his skill set and helped us to up our skill set as Health City from a technology perspective. And look forward to seeing you all next week for a wrap up with
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you.
Benoit and lots of prizes.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Have a good one. All
Bye.
righty. Bye-bye. All right, folks. So there we have it. Technology and medicine. Again, the two are going hand in hand these days. And it's just amazing to see the advancements that are happening. And of course, we right here on CMR keeping a very, very keen eye on these things. I love technology. I've embraced it for a very, very long time. Listen, I remember way back in the day, when we had Windows was just kind of coming into its own when I was in university. And I was like, well, I don't know what this Windows thing is, but I need to learn it in order to, make it make it in this world. And so I've always tried to embrace technology whenever I can. Sometimes it's a little bit scary. I'm the first to admit, even with AI, I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't understand this AI thing. It's complicated. But it was in my head. What was stopping me? My hesitation was all in my head. And a lot of it was really for a lack of understanding. Like if you don't understand how things can make your life better and easier and how they work, you are more likely to fear it. And so that is something to think about. So, yeah. So I was like, I don't know. But now that I'm into it, honey child, can I tell you? It is making life amazing. So many things I can do that I couldn't do before that I'm just like, yes. I feel a sense of accomplishment when I do something. I'm like, oh my God, look at this. I did that. I prompted that. Yeah. but there's a lot to learn. It's like constant learning mode, right? So you never know everything, and there's so many elements of it out there. But even here on CMR TV, we're using, I don't know if you guys have seen some of what we've done, but we are actually using technology to even create certain show episodes. Yeah. There's one that I want to talk about. So we're going to talk about some court stuff today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Diddy documentary, which I watched this weekend. Ugh, mind blown. So interesting. But, you know, I also was watching, okay. So I have many tools at my disposal these days that I'm utilizing. And I know some of you are like, oh, Sandy, we don't like this AI news and blah, blah. And I'm just like, y'all got to understand how I'm going to say 5 years or less. I feel like 5 years is pushing it. In a couple years, right? News media and AI is going to be where it's at. I'm just trying to get ahead of it a little bit. The tools are becoming infinitely better every single time, like every single week, month to month. There's like a jump. There's tools. There's, and so it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So I feel like, you either get on the wagon, learn how to use it, understand it, appreciate it. And as we go along, it gets better. News reporters that are AI are going to get better. They're going to become more natural. There's going to come a day, not too long in the near future, when you're not going to be able to tell the difference between an AI video person and like the real deal. So that's where the technology is at. And sometimes I see like a new model that's come out and some of the stuff that the AI models are able to do. And I'm just like, whoa, this is so cool. There's a video I did about a court case, right? Listen to this. I'm going to actually post it up because I do think this is such an important topic around stratas and really just I'm not a fan of stratas, generally speaking. I've lived in an apartment and it only takes one person on the strata to make everybody's lives infinitely miserable because that person is, doing whatever it is that they want to do. Let me show you guys this. This is one of the podcasts that I have created, like an explanatory video on this really, really important topic. I'm just going to play a little snippet because I am going to post it up later. But have a listen to this.
Ever wondered what happens when a simple neighborhood disagreement spirals completely out of control? Well, we're about to dive into a legal battle with a 6-figure price tag, a case where a person's home was left hanging in the balance. You know it's a serious situation when the judge himself kicks things off by calling it a difficult case. That really sets the stage, right? This wasn't some black and white legal issue. It's a story that forces us to balance cold, hard cash against the very real, very personal cost of losing your home. And that really is the heart of it all. It's the central question we're going to explore today. Should you lose your home over a debt you owe to your neighbors? This whole mess started small, but it ballooned into something that really tested the idea of community itself.
Oh, my apologies. Oh my God. Here I am talking about this and I'm muted. My apologies. So I was saying that, yes, that's just a little snippet of some of the things that we're creating here on CMR. That's going to be part of the CMR TV, part of the CMR platform. Like literally, I can take complex legal documents, give it to systems. They will understand it, break it down, can make a short video snippet. You can do podcasts between individuals, AI individuals, like talking about stuff. It is just really, truly amazing what can happen, the things that we can now do that previously would have been not even, I don't even know if we could have like maybe thought about it. Like, I don't know. It's just, it really, really has taken things to a completely new level. And so this is where it's amazing. Audio is back. So there might be a delay in your system if you're listening. So we're back. Yes. So yeah, pretty cool. Absolutely amazing. So I'm not surprised that Health City is embracing that technology and using it, even as it relates to our children. I want to encourage you guys to utilize technology to assist your kids. Now, you have to be careful with technology and children because of the fact that if you as an adult don't have a good understanding of the technology, you don't just hand it to kids and go, here you go, have a go at it. You've got to know how to control it. And their technology, I saw Keith Orrit was mentioning something about mental health and medicine. One of the worst things you can do when it comes to your children's mental health is to give them a phone when they're too young. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. They don't need phones. Okay. And so you have to be cognizant and aware of how technological advances can help. It can help with education. It can help with learning, but it can also have an impact on a child's mental health and wellness. And that's where, as parents, you got to keep on top of things so that you know what tools you can give them and what tools you shouldn't give them. But for example, Gianna's only in the 3rd grade. And so, we get feedback from our parent-teacher conference sessions on things that she needs to be working on. So all the time now, we need to focus more on at home. She doesn't really get homework, but we give her stuff to do at home. So reading is really, really important. Making sure that she's reading every single day, getting her in the habit, which means that we need to show her that we're reading as well. Sometimes I just pick up a book, not because I really want a physical book, because I read a lot of my stuff online, but to show her that it's important to pick up a physical book and to read. And then we do all of these. There's amazing websites out there. So I'm always doing like these workbooks for her. This one's a math crossword puzzle where she can like solve it across addition. And then you can do it for their age appropriateness, right? So what plus 23 equals, and it's a crossword puzzle, but it's math. And then we have adding 3-digit numbers. And then I get the answer key. The great thing that I love about some of these websites is they have the answer key and everything. So I get to grade them very, very quickly for her. Here's a 2-minute math edition. Ice skating edition. So some of them are like really, really fun worksheets and stuff. They've got games, they've got lessons. There's ones that are integrated so she can do it on the computer. Although I still like to give her a lot of physical paper, because when the mind is young, you need to give them physical books, nothing like a physical book. And, so we integrate some technology, and it's so funny because the teacher said she's very, very comfortable on the computer. She's learning like how to type at school, and she does her little typing classes and stuff, and she seems comfortable, and sometimes she wants to help her little schoolmates. But the best thing to do is to still give them the old-fashioned paper in their hand. books in their hand. And you know, that sort of thing. They'll get the technology, trust me, because they live in a technologically advanced world. So they will pick that up very, very quickly, but definitely focus on still giving them stuff. And they're amazing websites, parents, that you can subscribe to, that will give you homework assistance, that will give you worksheets that you can print off for your children from pre-K all the way up. And so embracing that technology, I feel like is just so incredibly important. And I, you know, welcome people to embrace it at all levels. That's what we're doing here, you know, and I get that sometimes there's a little bit of a resistance to that, but I can assure you that in due time, the resistance is going to, you know, the resistance is going to become less and less when you see how much the technology is going to change your lives for the better. Yeah. All right. So I got to watch this Diddy. I want to talk about this a little bit. I'm not going to go too deep into it, I don't think, but I got to watch this weekend the documentary that 50 did on Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy. He's had a couple name changes over the years. I guess he's tried to reinvent himself. And I must say that I had no idea. There was a lot of Sean Combs' story that I didn't know. And so this documentary kind of pulled in a lot of stuff, especially from the early years. Like I didn't know how he got started in this industry, you know, and all this kind of stuff. But what I would say is it's very, very interesting. It's interesting. And from the perspective of like a broader perspective, the takeaways really is that there are people who become so large in life, right? And we see it even here in Cayman, like the Makiva Bushes of the world. Let me just be very honest, right? They become bigger than they ever imagined. You know, people love them. They have trust of the people. And so they have a sense that they are untouchable. And so this is like the ultimate story of how people get power, right? They get money. And when you combine those two things, power and money, you create individuals who believe that they can do anything, that they have their own, they're a law unto themselves. They can manipulate the media. They can manipulate the narrative. And you know, the footage that 50 got from Diddy's videographer, which he didn't pay for, he for whatever reason didn't pay the guy. And so 50 went in and swooped it up and paid for it and got it legally, demonstrates a man that is not even a genuine person. You know, ahead of this trial, he went into Harlem to pretend like he's like, you know, one of the people. Oh yes, I'm going to go visit the poor people down in Harlem. And he gets in the car and the video captures him saying, oh my God, does anybody have any sanitizer? I need to sanitize my hands. I need to go down and wash myself off. Ew. Like I was around these dirty, poor people. And these are the same people who are like going hard for him, talking about, you know, oh, this is so wrong. This was just about taking the black man down and all this kind of absolutely ridiculous nonsense. It's like, wow, shocking. But I'm so glad that people got to see it, because I think this documentary, which is breaking all kind of records, I believe, in terms of viewership, is going to show people, and the irony of it is at his own hands. He was the one who likes to record everything and have people following him around. It just so happens that in this instance, as he's done with many other things, he didn't want to pay the bill. He didn't pay the bill. And so the guy got a hold of, you know, 50 and his team and whatever, got a hold of this raw footage, showing him sitting there talking about, well, we need to control the narrative. You guys need to get together. And if you have to hire people overseas, I don't care. How are we going to make this happen? And it's just like, wow. Unbelievable. when people believe that they are untouchable and they are, he at one point made this comment, which I was really, really surprised at, where he basically said that people need to understand that he's next to God, like he is Jesus. And I was just like, what did this guy just say? Yeah, in his head, that's where he was, this God complex. And when I watch something like this, I always think of it like in a real life context, right? So I think of other people like around me in Cayman who have, on a smaller scale, obviously, they're not a Diddy, but they've done a lot. They've gotten away with a lot. They have a God complex and they believe that they can do anything and they will never be held accountable for their actions. That's pretty wild. And there are people like that. That's the dangers of one of the dangers of politicians, for example, because they can get a God complex really, really quickly when you're in office for 25, 30, 40 years. They believe that they can do whatever. Nobody can touch them. We see it at the international scale. Not for nothing, but if y'all don't think that Donald Trump has a God complex, you're sadly mistaken. They break laws. They don't care about laws, decency, accountability, none of that. And they just go through this world doing whatever they want. So it's a cautionary tale, and it is so sad because when I see what he has been up to, I think he has the love of a lot of people, and no doubt he has changed the music industry for that genre, like the rappers and stuff. But he's also destroyed a lot of lives. The guy was always competing with his artists. Like when you hear some of the people being interviewed saying he doesn't have any talent, he's not talented. But this is why he really wanted to be in that space, because he wanted the glory of being an artist, but he knew he didn't necessarily have the talent. But he used people, right? Everybody was like a stepping stone to him, whether it was, the early artists that he worked with, like Biggie and those guys. And everybody was also disposable to him, which is so sad. Because when you look at what happened, he didn't pull the trigger, but he basically put Biggie in harm's way, why he ended up losing his life, because Biggie was not even supposed to be there. He was supposed to have left the US and gone to Europe, and things would have cooled down in the US probably by the time he got back. But Diddy called and said, cancel the European plane ticket, cancel that trip. I want Biggie to stay in California, where he knew the young man's life was at risk, because things were so hot at that time. It is, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, because again, it is a cautionary tale for people to you've got to you have to keep an eye out on what people are doing and how people rise to the top, because a lot of people unfortunately do not stay humble. Yeah. Their rise, their projected, and it's like there's also a bit of a fallacy in there where he wanted to tell people that he came from the streets, and he didn't really come from the streets at all. He actually went to private Catholic school or something, but he wants to create this image of him being something that he wasn't, to kind of fit in to that community. So it is interesting. All in one, it's like family dysfunction, a young man growing up without a father who was killed when he was very young. The father was involved in criminality, of course. He was allegedly an informant for the FBI and all this kind of stuff. A mother that I guess was in some ways trying but failing at being a really good mother. So she introduced him to a lot of perversions, I think, at a really young age, like these adult parties and adult environments that no child should ever be exposed to. His abuse of women, from his very early relationships, he has been pounding and beating on women. There was something I saw where I don't think it was part of that interview, but it was a YouTube video, and it talked about how he was beating his another girl that he was with early on in his career. And she was a really petite, he seems to have a type. She was a really petite woman. And he was actually kicking her, because it's like he has an MO where he doesn't try to leave marks like on their faces, because, they might be in the public or models or whatever. But he was kicking her in her body and punching her in her stomach and chest and all this stuff so badly that she was literally crawling underneath a car to get away from him. And that's who he was. He's a woman beater, like big time. Like this young lady, Casey Ventura, is not the first, and is certainly not the only woman that he has assaulted in this way. Apparently, it was a norm, And what I found so interesting as well is that there is a they spoke to a couple of the jurors about, well, why did you not find him guilty on the more serious counts and stuff? And they're sitting there, as is typical, victim blaming. Well, we don't know, Casey, because she stayed with him. And I thought, wow, it's so sad that these people don't understand the victimology of what a victim is. And they do stay. I mean, all of us here are always like, why do you stay? Why do you stay? But they do stay. And they do sometimes participate in activities that they don't want to. But you have to understand that when she got with him, she was a 19-year-old, very, very impressionable young lady. And so he groomed her from day one. He groomed her. And so she stayed because, as most victims do, they become used to the cycle of violence. You get beat, and then they apologize. They make it up to you. They take you out to dinner. They buy you flowers. They buy you fancy stuff. And you think that they're going to change. And they never change, And one day you stay to the point where they actually end up taking your life, or almost taking your life. So it is, that was the part that I actually, for me, was the most concerning, is that the jurors are so ignorant. Because, when I say ignorant, I don't mean that as an insult, but jurors are the average person. And so the average person out there still doesn't understand a victim's mentality, how she was a victim, right? You hear about the freak-offs and the guy who was participating in those for years saying how Diddy controlled everything, told her what to wear and how to turn and what to do. And it was like she was a doll. She was a robot. She was not in control of herself for fear of being beaten. Like somebody, again, I can't remember if this was, because I've watched a few videos since then about the situation, but somebody was sharing a story of where she did something that he didn't like, and he took her into the bathroom. And then when they came back out, she was like behaving right. That's because he went in there and he beat her up. Like, I was really, when I listened to them, they only had 2 jurors on, but when I listened to them, one was an African-American, love struck, big celebrity, whatever. Like, yeah, he might be a violent person, but he wasn't up on domestic violence charges. But that was part of the grooming that then led to the sex trafficking charge, which was the more serious charge. But, they didn't feel like, the prosecution made out their case. But it is very, very interesting. I must tell you, that people don't understand. And so if you don't understand how someone can be in a situation like that, then that means that perhaps we're even missing how to save young girls and men from these types of situations and environments. Because you gotta educate young people how to avoid domestic violence situations, how to notice the early signs, right? Because you never know a person until you know a person. But as soon as they demonstrate to you who they are, you need to get out as quickly as possible. The longer you stay, the worse it is for you. And the higher the chances are that you will not even get out alive. So we've got to really start to raise young men and women who are discerning so that when they see the first inclination of violence, you go, no, 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 no. This is not normal. This is not right. And you get out of there. Yeah, Marshall says he even slapped. There's an allegation. Of course, his mother is going to deny it, but there is an allegation that he even slapped his own mother. He is a very violent man. So it's so sad. It is just absolutely so sad. And when he gets out of jail in a couple years, he's going to get out and try to rewrite the narrative. And I really hope that the community rejects him doing so, because that's what it's going to take. Like, people have to stop working with him. Artists, about how he didn't pay them. Producers still waiting to be paid. And at the same time, he was like abusing them and getting them involved in these freak offs when they didn't want to be, sometimes drugging them and sexually assaulting them without their knowledge. I mean, this guy is legit a monster, and he should be in jail for life. But unfortunately, he was not found guilty of the more serious charges. So he'll be out now in less than 4 years. And he's going to try to go right back to his lifestyle. I mean, they even caught him on video saying how he was going to the bank to move $200 million because, he's trying to hide his money. When he first started at the company, Bad Boy Records, there was a lawsuit. His trajectory started because some 8 people died for an event that he had put on, and he took no accountability for that. And when he set up the company, he put the company 75% in his mother's name and 25% in his friend's name so that he couldn't be sued by the family of those people. He's been he went to university. He went to, I think it's Howard University, and studied business or whatever. So he's been a little bit shrewd from day one, but he has really taken it at another level. Anne says, sounds like he was a monster. Not was, he still is. That type of behavior doesn't change. And I doubt he's going to be getting the kind of therapy that he would need to even make a dent in that. What did I find the most shocking? Probably the allegations about him being involved in Tupac's murder. I never knew that there was that much of a connection. And so you got to watch it to see how they weave that together, because looks like he pretty much carried out the hit and then didn't even end up paying the guy who did it, which is crazy. Unbelievable. Dawn says disgusting behavior and seemed like a norm, like you said, and everyone knew and no one did anything. And so the irony of it is it took Casey filing her lawsuit for 100 lawsuits literally to then follow. It took that one girl who had been beaten and plummeted and sexually abused and trafficked and everything for years to come forward. And then everybody, it's like they were just waiting. They were all waiting for one single person to have the courage. Isn't that amazing? And that's normally how it works. Again, when you look at victims and how they operate, a lot of them are afraid to come forward. One person musters up the courage to come forward. And then they think, okay, if they did it, I can do it too. And then it just snowballs from there. You know how difficult it is for men to say that this man basically drugged and sexually assaulted me? A man in the African-American community to say that he was drugged and sexually assaulted, waking up sore in his privates, is not an easy thing for anybody to admit, because there are going to be people who are going to question, well, what kind of man are you? And they're going to ridicule you and whatever. It takes a lot to admit that you were a victim of sexual assault. regardless, but especially for men in the African American community by another African American celebrity like Diddy. It is very, very sad. Like I said, if you haven't watched the documentary, go watch it. I think you'll find it interesting. Jerry says men that behave like that tend to hate their mother. And, I think they have very complex relationships with their mothers, as Diddy did, because his mother, even up to this day, plays a very integral part in his life, no doubt. But I don't think it's a normal love relationship with his mom. It's very messy. And at one point they were talking about how something he had done and she beat him so viciously that they were just like, this was unbelievable, So I think I'm sure some of him loves his mother, but some of him probably hates his mother too, and the abuse that he sustained at her hands. Is you see him playing that out in his relationship. So it is really, really disturbing. And, people have been talking about Diddy for years, and, people were just ignoring all of those things and ignoring the signs and so forth. And now it is a time of reckoning for him. And I think that honestly, he's still gotten away because he did not get a life sentence. He still got away with so much. But as we say here in the Caribbean, time is longer than rope. So I do feel like there's more to come. There is definitely more to come. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of what's happening in our community. Even it's so funny because somebody says from the moment that Tupac was murdered, there were rumblings about his involvement. And when Biggie was murdered, they said the same. He wanted the spotlight for himself, so he had to take Biggie out of the way for him to shine. And I'm sure there was many like myself that heard of Diddy for the first time after the Missing You song came out. Yeah, so he capitalized on Biggie's murder with this song with Faith Evans and 112 about, he even had, was it Seal in the video or collabing on the song? But then when you hear this song and you think, oh my God, he sounds like he was Biggie's best friend, like they were BFS forever. But then you hear how he wouldn't even like, oh, I'm going to put on this big, massive funeral. And then he made Biggie pay for the funeral. Like he took it out of his estate, basically, of money that his family and his children would have gotten. Like this dude is he's just next level, right? He has no heart. He's not genuine. He's not Sting. Yes, thank you. Yeah, he did the original collab with Sting. But yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So let's talk a little bit about some of what's happening in Cayman. You guys might have seen so the police have been busy with some drug busts in Cayman Brac. And boy, we're here to report the news. Jasara, it's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, if you have a Netflix account, you can go watch it on Netflix. It's a Netflix documentary original that was done by 50 and he has like a team of producers and stuff like that. I thought it was actually pretty well put together. So, we report the news here, and a lot of people don't like the fact that we name names and we report the news and y'all get up in your feelings. I don't really care. I'll be honest with you about that because we have a job to do. But I do want to talk about this Cayman Brac one because someone reached out, and I want to give you guys some advice. If your family members end up in the news with criminal allegations around them, your best bet is to maybe, if you're particularly sensitive, not read the news at all. Oh, sorry. Carmen is asking what's the name of the documentary. So it is called, hold on, let me get the proper name. It's called Sean Diddy Combs, The Reckoning. And it is, I mean, all over the place right now. Let me just see. Even People Magazine is doing a whole special on where's Kirk Burroughs right now, inside the Bad Boy founder's life years after accusing Diddy of abuse. And the crazy thing is, this guy, Kirk Burroughs, who was his original partner with 25%, said that one day he came in and took his 25% back under threat of violence. He walked in with a baseball bat and had the shares in his hand and said, you need to sign these over to me. I'll eventually give them back to you, but you need to sign these over to me. And the guy obviously felt like he had no choice. Now, he did sue him previously, all the way, I think, back to 1990. Let me see when the original lawsuit was, but he sued him a while ago, and his lawsuit got dismissed because, again, Diddy can get the best lawyers who can find all sorts of like really ridiculous nuances in the lawsuit, you know, and so it got dismissed. And this guy is now telling a very, very compelling story that he was even a victim. It ended with him saying that he was even a victim of sexual abuse at the hands of Diddy as well. It takes a lot for these men to admit this. Like, you have to understand the environment that they come from. For a man to even, you could see that he was even struggling with saying that last bit, you know. He filed a lawsuit way back in 2003 about the shares and about abuse and stuff like that, but his case was dismissed. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Sandra from the Bluff. Thelma is very pleased you're back on air.
We're here to make Thelma happy.
Yes, sir. Trust me, the one cat that's more human than me that watches you on the big screen. Anyways, let me say this with respect to the drug bust and the BRAC.
Oh, yes.
When I came here in 21, the first police meeting they had, I think, was in October of that year. I went to it. And the same argument, the people there complained about the drugs, the cocaine, the young people getting involved in cocaine, the alcohol being sold in bars to underage, the speeding, you name it. And then they went away. They took everything that the people said. And they went away and nothing was done about it. Then they had another meeting like about a year later. The same things are being brought up because people were seeing no changes. There were not enough patrolling going on. Boats were coming in. People were talking about the man say he pulled off down one road, south side, and all he could see were boats coming in and people offloading stuff. And he calling the police and nobody's answering. So that was, I mean, I went to these police meetings. Then they appointed a new station manager. He came and he had a meeting with, there was no commissioner of police with him. I think he just had the meeting with other officers. He brought up Brad Ebanks and somebody else from Grand Cayman. That Sandra, the people again tell him about the same things. And I'm documenting these meetings. I went to them, recorded them. And the same story over and over. It's now almost 5 years in Kim and Brack finally before they actually come to do a drug bust. And Sandra, they not did the bust. What they did was just come and mess with the little pew dealers. The real dealers, they didn't touch because they're very much connected with the police and the police is protecting them and are saying it how the people of Kim and Brack want it to be heard, since the ones that they having meetings with aren't listening. The big dealers have not been touched up here. I have brought it up a few times on my shows and I've addressed it because I went undercover in a couple of bars and watched the 16, 14, 13-year-old children walk into those bars, get served alcoholic drinks in solo cups and serve the cocaine as well. I'm sitting at that bar and I watch that with the bartenders. But it's there to distributing the drugs and the alcohol to the underage. I don't care about adults taking on that stuff. That's fine. You want to kill yourself with cocaine, go ahead. But the children up here is being the amount of children that are coked out of this country, they Lehman Scott High School, need to now come in and every child be tested for drugs in that school. Because that school got a lot of children that's heavily under cocaine. And that's the saddest part about Brock right now. And they need to get rid of that Guyanese security guard because he's allowing the alcohol into the Lehman Scott High School. I've reported on it for the last 4 years, and all they did, move him from one school to the next where I thought I wouldn't have seen him. They moved him from Lehman Scott and put him up in Creek and Spot Bay. I mean, it just does not nothing gets better up here, Sandra. It's just basically what they did to that building down in the Bight, painted it over and remodeled it with all the mold and asbestos neck deep up in it, and they had moved everybody out after it. But then I ain't been there a year, I don't think. And they had moved them out. This is what Brock does. Covers up. It does not dig the friggin' roots up. No root is being dug up. And that Alexander Hotel, and if Nelson is listening, he my cousin, and I gonna bring it this morning. Your hotel that's being run by Filipinos are turning it into a freaking whorehouse and a cocaine stop as well. There are rooms being rented in that hotel that you can go to and buy the drugs out of the rooms.
Just remember, you're still on air. So,
Sarah.
but we're gonna get into this.
But anyway, you go ahead and get into it. But I'm bringing it to you how it is on the road from the ground level, because my ears and my nose to the ground, and people are fed up that they came up here and did fireworks with these arrests the other day. That was just a demonstration of entertainment. It wasn't even digging the roots up. It was just smearing over brushing the dust out of the floor.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Carrie.
Sandra.
Well, the commissioner, thank you so much. The commissioner has said that he's committed to eradicating drugs all out of Cayman Brac, and he's not going to lose Cayman Brac to drug addiction. Well, he's got quite a job ahead of him. I can tell him that. Because as Carrie rightfully said, now I don't even live in Cayman Brac. I don't have any what I would consider extensive Brac connections, like family and stuff there. But what I do know is that everyone in Cayman Brac knows exactly who the drug dealers are. Okay? And not for nothing, but this family that has just been arrested, the Frederick family, for as long as I can remember now, honey child, their name and various members of the family, some of them not even arrested, but their name has been called up in the drugs in Cayman Brac from time. And it's like the people know. So if the people know and the people are talking so openly about it, I don't know how the police don't know. I suppose they know, but actually getting to get the evidence to carry out these arrests, why is it so difficult? I'm going to read you something that someone shared with me last week, right? Because of course we posted up the story that 2 of the members of the family, one son and father team duo, were arrested. Now, some family member, I think it might be the sister of the young man that was arrested, started reaching out to us. And she seems a little bit confused because she WhatsApped me saying, regarding your post about Jonathan, it is not true. Jonathan was not charged. Please get your facts straight on your page. Can identify, destroy one's reputation. So I screenshot the story and said, I'm pretty sure that you can read that it says that he was arrested. And we base our reporting on a police report, which you can go to their website and get. Well, my dear, she went on and on and on and on. I had to eventually block her because she clearly don't have no sense, and she just wouldn't stop. So she says, I just spoke to the officer in charge, and Jonathan has no charges against him. Review your report. And I said, well, none of them have been charged. Please read correctly. It said arrested. And there's a difference in this jurisdiction between being charged and being arrested. She goes on to say, okay, but this is still defamation of character. Listen to the stupidity now. We're reporting something factually that happened. And she said, okay, but this is still defamation of character. He has nothing to do with the situation and he is not arrested. So I say, well, the police report was crystal clear. Whatever source you have is false. We reply, the RCIPS is the source. Please message them about it. Comes back again. Arrest is basically an assumption. Yeah, because this person has a law degree now, right? Can tell me what an arrest is. For you to post this man up without legal factual information is defamation of character. At this point, I'm getting a little bit mind blown with the exchange. They go on to say, when I say to them, please message the police, they say, I already spoke to the sergeant in charge. Now, I don't know who this sergeant is in Cayman Brac, but I'm a little bit confused. You will be held responsible. I said, okay, well, go talk to a lawyer since you're the expert. Sue us for defamation, because any lawyer that you contact is going to be like, please go sit down. You're making yourself look really, really ridiculously stupid. But they continue. So they respond to me when I say, you need to go and talk to a lawyer since you're the expert. They say, you're no expert either. Yeah, I'm no expert, but I do have a law degree, which gives me a little bit more knowledge than probably the average person. We do work in the space of media, and we got the police report, the actual police. It was a press statement. Then they go on. You post someone's face without having the facts, completely destroying their reputation. No, honey child, he's destroying his own reputation. That ain't got nothing to do with us. We're just reporting on it. They go on. If he was charged, then fine, I understand, but he isn't. This was an impulsive post. And I'm like, no, it was not an impulsive post. I said, we report on people being arrested all the time. Funny that you've never seen that, because it's actually done quite frequently, right? And we've been doing this for over 8 years now, going into 9 years. Where have you been? That doesn't make it right, especially when you're trying to be a reliable news source. I'm just like, wow. I mean, my God. She just goes on and on and on. Then God becomes part of the conversation. So I said, all right, well, we quoted from the RCIPS press release. It says another man at the location, age 29, was also arrested in suspicion of drug offenses. What part of that is not reliable? She tells me there's going to be another press release, apparently. She works for the police press department. And I know this won't be the same. This won't be the first time you've wrongly posted someone and later had to post that they were innocent. So no shame in that. The article doesn't say anything about the person's guilt or innocence. It simply says he was arrested, which is a factual statement. The police said that in their press release. And the person just goes on and on and on. Oh, you're unreliable if you have to post information and then later have to update it. I'm like, well, what part of this are you not understanding? I even screenshot and sent them the statement, the press release from the police, right? Then they say, by reading the release, they clearly kept certain things confidential due to uncertainty. This is so mind-boggling. So now they know what's in the police's minds due to uncertainty. Really? Oh, okay. Anyway, I had to eventually block that person because they were taking up way too much of my time with their ridiculousness. But everybody in Cayman Brac knows that this Frederick family, that their name is all over, allegedly, the drug running business in Cayman Brac. Right? People can tell you, oh, that entire family sells and uses drugs. Okay? So-and-so is on it bad. Young guy and a menace. Let's not forget another so-and-so Frederick. He's the biggest drug dealer in Cayman Brac and a rapist. I don't understand how they not catch him yet. He sells in broad daylight. Be assaulting people in broad daylight about he needs his money. And he's been running the community since the 90s. And these are stories that I've repeatedly heard over and over again. The first drug dealer in Cayman Brac was so-and-so's grandmother. Same family. The person goes on to say the whole family of Fredericks is into it. It is like the biggest open secret in all of Cayman Brac. Who is doing the drugs? He is a real heavy hitter. And then they name one person who's now deceased and another 2 people. They know who the drug dealers are. So the community knows, and the police is struggling to put cases together. Come on. It's time for them to get serious about this. We have been talking about for a number of years now about the drug problem in Cayman Brac and how it is literally ruining the community there. So at what point are we going to truly get serious about this? Yeah? I dare say it's about time that somebody was arrested in Cayman Brac. So here we go. People, some of the trolls are here getting all up in their feelings because we're speaking the truth. Here we go. Mace Windy does a little frog sign. That's fine. You can call me a frog all you want, but what I know is the drugs are ruining people's families in Cayman Brac. There are people literally walking around like zombies, breaking into people's homes, doing the most because they're addicted to this substance. And anyone who is pushing it, I don't really care who you are, and I don't care what names you feel like you want to call me. I don't actually give a shit. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, right? Stop destroying people's lives with drugs. That's what y'all need to stop doing. And all of you who support the drug runners there in Cayman Brac, and I don't give a shit if you're their cousin, if you're their mama, if you're their grandpappy, I don't care. Everybody in the community knows exactly who you guys are. And some of you work for the Cayman Islands government doing road works. And we're paying you to do road works. And while you're out there running, on the streets, you're also delivering drugs to people, using the road works job as a means to deliver drugs. Wow. It is high time that we curtail the situation in Cayman Brac, because that entire community is going to be lost to these drug dealers and drug addicts if we don't get it under control. And you see, the saddest part is you have had members of government who've been there for 30 years, 20 something and 30 years, who have done absolutely nothing about it. They know who the drug dealers are too. They know the problems. They have not encouraged the police to come down hard on any of this whatsoever. And that is a sad indictment on our representatives. Some of them and their family members' names have been called up and stuff as well. And it is high time that we say that we're not going to allow our communities to be destroyed just because people insist on getting involved in illegal activities such as, supplying cocaine and crack and all this sort of thing. The other thing that I have been made aware of is that right now there's a real concern for the sister islands because of the fact that Jamaica was hit in the way in which it was by the hurricane, that particular coastal region. They're going to now be directing a lot of the shipments to Cayman Brac as opposed to Grand Cayman. So the authorities know this, and they need to keep a very, very keen eye out on the situation. Carrie says every nationality is involved in cocaine abuse up here. It's blatantly obvious. It's so crazy because I even hear of foreign nationals who come they were on Cayman Brac and then they come here. Whenever they want to get some drugs, they go back to Cayman Brac because it's so easy to get. You can buy it easily. Nobody's paying attention. They know the sources and they just go get their drugs, get high, whatever, and then come back to Graham. That's how rampant the drugs are in Cayman Brac. So I'm glad to see that some arrests have been made, but I'm going to encourage the RCAPS to continue digging because many more arrests should be coming. Now, there is an allegation that one of the biggest drug runners there is not being arrested because apparently he's an informant for the RCIPS. I'm sure they're not going to speak on this and they're not going to tell us, but that's why the big guy there can't be touched or won't be touched. That's what the streets are saying. And he is such a poor informant that he'd be lying to the police and giving them basically bad information to be able to keep his status of, oh, I'm a police informant, therefore I can do whatever I want and not be arrested. It's high time that the RCIPS cuts him loose as an informant. I'm just saying. Who's he going to inform on? His own family? Come on. He'd be feeding y'all bad information. Let him go because y'all need to arrest him. Oh, it's just absolutely crazy. On another note, I want to let you guys know that, last week, I think it was Thursday or so, we did a story, we did a show on Davian White, and he has been arrested. Remember I told you guys, my source said he was going to try to skip the country and leave? Well, guess what? This morning, I got a tidbit of information that apparently he was at the airport trying to leave. And yeah. Good morning, Miss Sandra. I heard that Davian was caught Saturday, I believe, trying to leave Cayman. A witness of the incident showed me a picture of him in handcuffs by the police and CBC at the airport. Well, I told you guys that. He was going to abscond. WRC, please see about removing his status from him. Because you see what happens when trouble hit because of their own wrongdoing? What do they then do? Jump up and run from Cayman. Dude has a Caymanian wife and Caymanian children. You think he cares anything about them? Nope. He was going to run away from his troubles, which included them probably. We gotta kind of get it together for the sake of our own little island. So, at the end of the day, people want to get up in their feelings when we call out wrongdoing, whether it's simple things like telling restaurants, please get your shit together as a restaurant, as a business. You guys need to see somebody cussing me out about that yesterday about, oh, you must stay home and cook. Yeah, I eat home cooking most days out of the week. You ain't got to worry about that, honey child. I get some good home cooking. That's what y'all worried about? Like, seriously? Me home cooking? Don't worry about that. I'm getting lots and lots of home cooking. But the point and the fact that you guys are refusing to accept accountability for even just poor customer service, that alone is just really, really sad. It's like, come on. You cannot be serious. But what do you guys want to do? You want to shoot the messenger, as always. But this is one messenger that is going to be here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And you don't have to like it. But that's certainly not going to change, what's happening here. Simple as that. We're going to continue to report on the news. We're going to get it accurate. So when we say that those 3 people were arrested, this is not a guessing game. We know exactly the fact that they were arrested. So this is some site girl, some Instagram profile girl gang entrepreneurs, right? So they claim that they're advertising, only God knows. And they say, your mouth big and stink, cook at your yard, old harlot. Oh God, that's because they got up in their feelings about what we said, the post that we put up about Wells. Wow. That is so funny. That is hilarious. I cook. Actually, Miss Stacey's doing most of the cooking these days, but don't worry, I can cook. You not gotta worry about that. That's the best that they can come with. Oh my God. They'll be fine. I had to laugh. Lord Jesus. Speaking of cooking, boy, I had some good home cooked lasagna last night. Oh my God. I think I'm going to have some again today. I'm trying to cut back on the pastas and stuff, but Jesus, that was so good. Delicious. Morning, Miss Darlene. How you doing? Sandy's Teflon Don, says Anthony. Cayman Brat, Carrie says, same thing happened to me with a Tiffin employee. Reported on them and they absconded and stole more than $6 million from me. What? No red flag was issued by the police. They ignored my request to stop them. We're all misrepresented, and we're so misrepresented, in all government departments, SAGCs, etc., and they're failing us grotesquely. Wow, that's pretty sad. Carib guy says, I'm hollering. Child, let me tell you something. Unbelievable. I am fixing. Oh, I'm frigging. No, the F word. Jealous. You got called a harlot and not me. Oh God, who even calls anybody a harlot anymore? Even that term, I was like, a harlot? What the hell? What a mess. Y'all will be just fine. Lord Jesus, I know if I'm a harlot, Lord, I hate to think what some of y'all really are. Oh my God. I'm trying to find them. I'm going to post it up on social media because, I have to have a good laugh when these people send me this shit. I'll post it up. When they message me, I'd be like, oh God. Lord God. I can't help but laugh. These people got me in stitches some days. I'm just like, what? Okay. And I responded, that's the best you got? Telling me to cook home and you're a harlot? And your mouth big and stink? That's all you got, honey child? Oh my God. You just made me want to cry. Boo-hoo-hoo. How dare you call me a harlot? Oh my God. I'm not even insulted. I'm like, what the fuck is a harlot? What, harlot? Which century you just walked out of? Oh my God. I know they're not talking to me when it comes to calling me a harlot. You see, you can't really get offended with shit like this because it's like, it's not true. So I'm like, I'm a harlot? Like, what? Are you serious right now? Y'all are crazy. Oh my God. Andrew says Mount Trashmore seems to be the least of our problems. Hearing all these other things our islands face. Trust and believe. What the fuck? Oh, the real Michelle says, Carrie, watch the space. It will all come out soon. You're giving me courage to step up and tell my story. I believe you dealt with a buttery bank. Oh my God. Carrie says low IQers, right? Yeah. You just gotta laugh because God knows. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. OMG. But it's really in your best interest to probably not message me. Because I'm just like, what idiot is this? Like, really? We're trying to improve restaurant quality. We're giving them good tips. Thank you so much to Colin from the one here in Savannah that was receptive. If your customers are willing to say to you, this is where you need improvement, and you can't take that on board, that gets you all up in your feelings where you're going to be talking about, oh, you're a harlot. I'm just like, okay. And what does that have to do with the fact that y'all don't want to answer the freaking phone? Not a damn thing. Okay. I'm no harlot, but even if I was, what does that have to do with the price of rice in China or the fact that Wellies don't want to answer the damn phone. Like I said, I'm giving them props. Their food is good. But is it good enough where I'm going to be tortured going there because you refuse to answer the phone? No, that's why I've not been there in a year. And the sad part is probably once a week I could eat some local food. So they'd probably get money out of me at least once or twice a week. But no, honey child, I'll be passing them by and I go right to Miss Elrita's. Because guess what? Miss Elrita and her little small operations, they answer the damn phone. And I can pre-order. So when I go there, my phone is ready. So y'all will be just fine. The real Michelle said, at least someone is getting some. If you're a harlot, right? I mean, I'm not a harlot, but even if I was, I'd be like, yay, let's swing from the chandeliers about that harlot life. Let's get us some D. We're good. Y'all are fine. Ugh. Y'all be out here in these streets having 50 times the amount of men penises that I've ever even seen. And y'all want to call me a harlot. It's all right. Call me a harlot if that makes you feel better. Mm-hmm. I know one thing. My part's not stretched out like some of y'all. Every Tom, Dick, Harry, E-Banks, Bobo, TD, and everything else in between. No, sir. Harlot. Typing almost blind on my phone. Oh, God. Somebody says, post that Miss Elrita's number, please. Now, she has been unwell, so I haven't been in a minute, but I think they're still doing food. I mean, I haven't heard any differently. So, yes, let me look her up because I got it saved in my phone. But I know she hasn't been well. She was actually in the hospital recently. Miss Elrita, 945-3398, 939-0610. She got a mobile number. Somebody said, shh, don't be giving out Miss Elrita's number. That's my little spot. Don't want them to get too busy. Did they do Thanksgiving this year? Because I totally didn't even go there for Thanksgiving. But I know, like I said, she hasn't really been well. Bless her little heart. We need to gatekeep her. We don't want too many people going. Oh, Lord. Somebody said that it's alleged that they were lovers, Biggie and Diddy. Lord Jesus. Well, Diddy, he was diddling and everything, so I'm not surprised. Somebody says, Sandy, tell WRC while removing Davian, please remove his no good mother Kayla as well. I'll forward the message. Woo! WRC got their job cut out from boy. Let me tell you. No, sir. What a bunch. I'm going to post up whatchamacallit? I'm going to post up a video about these scammers out of Jamaica who are trying to scam you out of your hard-earned money. I'm begging you, please do not fall for this. Somebody sent me this morning about their recruitment agency. This shit is fake as it gets. My Jamaican peeps, I know a lot of you are trying to find employment right now. You might be desperate to get out of Jamaica, especially if you were in the area hit by the storm. But do not fall prey to these scammers, because that's what they are. I'm going to show you a video. They are scamming people out of hard-earned money. And the last thing you have right now is to give someone money that you are not going to get back and that you don't have. All right, hold on. Let me get the right video downloaded. Hold on one second. So I'm begging y'all to please be careful, because unfortunately, they are working overtime. Let me see here now. Let me see. We can download this. Yes. Yeah. They're working some serious overtime trying to get your money. So this company claims that they have jobs available at the new Hyatt Hotel. And I can tell you that those Hyatt Hotel people are not using any such company to recruit. So have a look at this.
Excited to officially announce that our company has partnered with Grand Hyatt Residences, 7 Mile Beach, Cayman Islands, in collaboration with the Cayman Islands tourism partners to begin immediate recruitment of Jamaicans for their overseas hotel employment program.
No.
This opportunity is part of an official staffing agreement to supply 50 qualified workers to fill urgent vacancies within the hotel. Recruitment will be between December 7th to December 19th. Flights are scheduled to leave the second week of January 2026. Only 50 individuals needed. We are now accepting applications for the following departments.
Don't do it.
Housekeeping, room attendants, valet, bellman, porters, maintenance workers, security officers, kitchen assistants, front desk manager, landscaping and grounds staff. Applicants selected through Island Talent Solutions will receive full work permit processing, immigration support, employer-backed job placement, safe and legal overseas employment. We are looking for Jamaican nationals, persons ready to travel quickly, hardworking, professional, and disciplined individuals. Guaranteed approval process for only $50,000, which includes payment for your permit, travel expenses, and accommodation. WhatsApp link in our bio. Apply today for your Cayman work permit. Limited spots available.
Let's give them a call, because you done know Auntie smells a scam is coming. We done know how this can work. Yes, honey child. Let's give them a call. They create these little fake ads. The funny thing is they actually say that you're paying for your work permit, which we know is against the law, right? Y'all know that. Don't fall for it. It's illegal to pay for your work permit. Now, this company and their WhatsApp profile has a guy who claims he is a immigration attorney, according to him, has an Orlando address, Jamaica number, and an Orlando address. All of this is like a little bit suspicious. islandtalentsolutions.org is the website. And when you go to the website, no surprise here. This is why y'all need to fact check these things. Absolutely no surprise here that the website is not even a working website. Okay. They were using Wix. And see it there? Not working. It looks like this domain isn't connected to a website. Ay. Let's call them. Let's see what they're up to. No answer. No answer. Nope, no answer. That's how they are. They claim to be at 121 South Orange Avenue. They have an email address. Let's see if they will respond to an email. Okay. All right. right, we're sending them an email. Let's see what they come back with. But yeah, another scammeration. Let's check out the address and see where on Google Maps that address actually takes you. 121. Okay. So it doesn't even look like 121 exists, because based on this is 114. So that's 124. So it goes from 114, that's 155, that's 124, that's 150. There's a little street here in South Orlando Avenue. Let's go over on this side. This is 150. Oh, nope. Not there. 155, South Orange. So I don't know where exactly. This is a plaza. This looks like, is this a hotel? Let me see. The Plaza Cinema Cafe. Looks like a movie cinema place. Yep, you can get tickets and stuff there. This looks like some kind of shopping mall, in fact. Let me see if I can get on the other side of this sign. Yeah, so they have Hertz. It's Chase Plaza. They have Hertz, the cinema theater in there, Chase Bank, and a few other things. No direct. Oops. I don't see. Oh, there we go. Man, I keep. It's kind of tricky navigating this. Yeah. Go back the other way. Anyway, I was trying to take a look at the sign again. Oh, there we go. What is that? UMC or something? Something company. I can't quite make that out. So I can make out Hearst. I can make out Cobb Theater. I can make out Chase, Olives, Mai Tai. I don't know what the one with the N is, because I can see the N, but then I can't see the rest of it. And underneath it is some other company. It looks like in Arabic writing. So that's 124 South Orange. Yeah, so I don't see a 121, so I don't know where they're supposed to be. And then this is the First National Bank and Trust Company. They got some lease spots there. Millennium Plaza, that's 190. And this one called Crest Building is 124. And then this one here looks like some kind of bar and restaurant. Guido's Pizza.com, Orlando Sidebar. And that's that whole building. So that's 120. And then 118, 116, 114. So I don't see a 121, because if there was a 121, it would be between 120 and this next building here, which is 155. So I don't see it. That's Google's map right there, honey chair. So the address is fake. Yep. So yeah, please, you guys are working too hard right now. I know things are difficult and challenging, but you're working too hard for somebody else to scam you out of your money. We've seen these types of businesses pop up before, and then there's all sorts of complaints around them. They claim that they're the vision to be the leading Caribbean agency for global talent placement, transforming lives and communities. Core values, integrity. Funny that they start with that one. Reliability, opportunity, and growth. And they claim that they're going to empower Jamaicans My apologies. By providing access to life-changing international job opportunities through trusted recruitment services. Well, I'm here to tell you not to trust them. All right. I suspect they're not going to answer to Cayman number. Yeah, these a lot of them don't tend to answer at all. What they do is they just want you to WhatsApp them so they can send you the bank account information to get you to send the money. And then once you send the money, they're going to ghost you and you're never going to hear from them again. And then you've just lost all of this hard-earned money. Yeah. So 121 should be across the street, but it's not there either. Yeah, I know that they're odd and even numbers, but across the street is this building. This is why we were looking at this building. Across the street is this building, which is 114. So let's go down the street a little bit more. There's 189. So there is no one. It jumps very, very quickly. There is no 121 here anywhere. Yep. Mm-hmm. And of course, the numbers are getting higher as we go this way. So now it's 213 South Orange Avenue. This is like downtown Orlando. So don't send these people your money. That's my best advice. Because then you can be calling me, trying to get your money back. And for these people who are doing it on an international level, I can tell you, this is 100. This is a Corona cigar place, looks like some kind of bar and stuff. You're not going to get your money back from these people. All right. So yeah. 121 South Orange Avenue Suite, 1270, 12th floor, Orlando, Florida. And if you look around here, there are very few buildings that are 12 stories. I mean, this is maybe how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe at the most. This one could be 12, like the ones behind it, but then they're on a different street. So like that one behind there, that looks like a residential. That doesn't really look like an office. That one looks residential. The one next to it, this one over here looks like an office, but that's a totally different street. So this one could be 12 stories. I'm not too sure how many stories that is. But what's the name of this building? Let me tell you, we can look it up really, really quickly. Plaza Cinema Cafe. Let me see. And in fact, speaking of AI, I was trying to, you know how creatively I use AI over the weekend? There's a little plaza when I'm driving in Miami. I always see it on the interstate. They have a furniture store. They have two furniture stores next to each other. One is City Furniture and something else. Then they have a Ross and they have a, one of those places that you can get the little bowls that have like the rice and whatever, like the burrito bowls type things. They had one of those in there, a Home Depot and something else. So I couldn't, does this address, I gotta ask Chad if this address exists. So I actually was trying to figure out what the plaza that this stuff is in is called. And so I started using chat, right? And you know, at first it wasn't quite giving me, let me tell you. This is the thing with AI tools. So I said to it, I said, it even gave me maps and everything. So I said, hey, I'm on Northwest 25th Street and Northwest 122nd Avenue in Miami, Florida. And I'm close by a plaza that has a Chipotle, a Home Depot, and a Ross in it. I'm trying to get to that plaza. It's right next to the interstate. Can you help me identify the address of the plaza? So the first one it gave me, it says, I think I have this match for you. So it gave me this match, but based on the sign, I knew that that wasn't it. So it actually gave me a map. Let me show you guys how, I pay for all the AI tools just as an FYI. So in case you're like, maybe your AI is better than mine, maybe because I do pay for the tools, but let me show you what AI actually did, right? So I said, it actually gave me hold on, let me share the screen. So it gave me a map and what it thought was a possible location, the layout. But then I'm like, no, because this has like second floor, DDS, all this kind of stuff. I was like, nope. This says the Northside Plaza is a commercial plaza associated with stores, including a large discount retailer, Ross, Dress for Less, Walmart, but none of that other stuff is in there. Its location lines up being near an interstate, major arterial, matches your description of right next to the interstate. So it was kind of overly focused on that, right? It says, if this isn't the plaza, I can check. Could you tell me roughly which interstate you saw at I-95, I-75, Florida Turnpike, da-da-da-da. So I went back and I revised it and I said, I'm seeing it from the Florida Turnpike. I'm actually looking at it and there's a furniture store and I'm like, oh man, what's the name of that store? Ashley Furniture's in there. So then it thought about it for 42 seconds. This is the beauty of this. Listen, AI is legit. It thought about it for 42 seconds and it came back with the results. The shops at Beacon Lakes. It's a big shopping center right alongside the Florida Turnpike with a Home Depot, Chipotle, Ross, Ashley, and City Furniture, Five Below, Dick's Sporting Goods, and a Chili's. And then they gave me the address for the Home Depot, the Ross, and the City Furniture. And it gave me directions on how to get there from Northwest 25th and Northwest 122nd. So I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it. That is exactly where I need to go. So even when you travel, these AI things are your friends. Trust me, it's amazing. All right, so I looked up the address, Real Michelle. Here's what we have. Going back to my AI tool. Hold on. I asked AI to tell me if this is a legit address. And it said, hold on. It actually did tell me that, 1 second. Okay. So I gave it the address. And I said, does this address exist? And it says, yes. I found evidence that the address of 121 South Orange Avenue, Suite 1270, Orlando, Florida, 32801 does exist. For example, a law firm listing shows the Sekou Clark law firm group operating at this address. The building at 125 South Orange is identified as the Plaza, a commercial high-rise in downtown Orlando. So the Plaza is not what we were just looking at. Can you show me pictures? I can ask it. Can you show me photos of the building? Okay. Now, with that bit of information, I think we were actually looking at the plaza. Aha! Dun, 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 dun. There we go. So that was it. Although what I was looking at wasn't sure, but this is it. That's the same building we were just looking at. Yep. See? That is the building. The plaza. Okay. So, where is my Google's map again? See, this is it. So this is the building. Oh, sorry. 1 second. So that's the building that I kept looking at, trying to see what was in the building. Yep. So this is the building that they claim that they're in. The same building that we were just looking at, the plaza. I was thinking this could be 12 stories. Yeah. All right. So now we have the name of that law firm. This guy claims that he is a lawyer. That's what it says on his WhatsApp. So how about if we contact this law firm called, since they're at the address, the Siku Clark Law Group. Let's call them. Hold on. Okay. The Siku Clark Law Group. Yep. So that is their address. Aha. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, we're on a proper investigation here this morning, honey Jill. Okay. So this is their actual address. Let's see if they're doing any recruitment for the Cayman Islands. Let's call them. Let us call them. 1407. I'm going to use my US number to call them. 47-269-8774. Okay, here we go.
If you're a potential client and would like to speak to a representative, please press 1. If you're an existing client, please press 2. For all other matters, please press 3.
Thank you for calling. This call may be recorded for quality assurance. Please hold while we connect your call.
Thank you for calling Sickle Clark Law Group. For immigration, press 1. For personal injury, press 2. For existing clients, press 1. To set up a consultation, press 2.
Hi, good morning. I'm just trying to get some information. I saw an advert on TikTok advertising for Jamaican jobs in the Cayman Islands, and it has your address listed as the location of the company. But then it has a 876, which is a Jamaican WhatsApp number. Do you guys have jobs? Is someone affiliated there, an immigration lawyer / recruiter working at your company? It's islandtalentsolutions.org is what they claim, and they have an email address.
No, we don't, unfortunately.
Okay. So you're not aware of anyone there who is doing recruitment. It says the WhatsApp says to empower Jamaicans by providing life-changing international job opportunities. That doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, definitely not. Especially if it's a WhatsApp number.
Yeah, so they claim, I can give you the WhatsApp number because they claim that their address is 121 South Orange Avenue, Suite 1270, 12th floor, Orlando, Florida. But when I looked up that address is actually showing your law firm.
Yeah, no. What's the WhatsApp number?
The WhatsApp number is 876 318 3369. So I think these people are scammers and they are using your address to look legitimate. So you might want to, I don't know what you can do about it, but might want to get on that. But yeah, like they have it set up as a WhatsApp business and they actually have your address listed with that phone number.
Yeah, I have heard that before, but I guess they created a new page. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, they've done this before. Wow. Yeah. All right. Just thought I'd let you know. No worries.
Of course, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good day. All right. Bye-bye. See what I tell y'all? See what I tell y'all? That's what these people be doing. Yeah. See, they've used their address before. So they know that that's a popular, oh my gosh. Anyway, Gabby says FBI agent Sandy in the case. So we're going to post this up and warn people to please do not fall for this scam. That's all we can do is warn you, because if you can't hear, you're gonna have to feel, like Aunt Lottie would say. Right now, there's another one that's going around scamming Filipinos. We have posted about that over the last couple of days. You know, whenever we get these scamations going on, we try to notify you as much as we can, just so that you can be careful, because we know how hard people out here are hustling in the streets and working for their money. Okay, I'm gonna go. Gotta get to work. Gotta earn some dollar bills to pay some bills. All right, Addie, good morning, says Detective Sandlock Holmes is killing it this year. I love that. That is so funny. You need a kaboom. Carney said, give myself a kaboom. Trying to protect y'all. Keep your money in your, I don't even want to say keep it in your handbag anymore, because they'll be trying to steal that from you too. All right, tomorrow's show, I think we're supposed to have some people from the Port Authority. I'm going to verify with them. I've already messaged them, and yeah. Okay. So I will message them just to confirm that they're coming on. So tune in for that, because that's some clarification. We need to find out about this new crane and all those good details. Sonia says, please behave yourself. I do my best. I try. I really try. All right, folks, have a fantastic day. Be good or be good at it. One out the two. You can't be bad and suck, because then we got a problem. So be good and be good at it. Mañana. Please also be safe on the roadways. Lots of crazy accidents happening. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m., nice and early. Have a wonderful day. Oh, don't forget, hold on, before I go, let me see what shows are on today. One second. Un momento, por favor. We have Tuesday's lineup. Let me see. Do you guys enjoy, listen, these shows have been killing it, by the way. They're getting thousands of views. They're doing really, really good. Did you guys get to see our one last night, Court Matters? Yeah. Wendy Ledger and I. Make sure you check that one out. We were dissecting legal aid and explaining kind of how legal aid works. So let me see on this one now. Oh, and before I forget, big shout out to Digicel. Let me tell you about some of the Digicel specials. So here we go. We've got, my show, Sabrina Speaks, and the AI Wave coming up today. So make sure you tune in for those shows. Digicel has some amazing promotions on. So let me tell you a bit about this. They've got deals for both prepaid and postpaid. So make sure you mark your calendars, because Christmas is here. And who doesn't want to be like the best Santa ever? Goals, #goals. Don't you love to give people stuff that they really actually want? You see that look on their face when they unwrap it, like, oh my God, Mom, thank you so much. I wanted this. Yeah, everybody wants to be that Santa, right? So here are some of the deals from Digicel. They have Christmas offerings. These are going to be good through the end of the year, through December the 31st. So first of all, they actually have their Christmas raffle and customer appreciation event coming up. But you can save postpaid customers. You get 50% off of your first 2 months. Prepaid customers, you can get a Samsung A17 plus a $10 plan for only $249. You've got Digicel plus fiber. That's 350 megabytes starting at $76.50. That's not too shabby, I must say. And if you've had Digicel postpaid for 2 years, you can do 0 down payment on a handset financing. You choose a handset of your choice, and then you don't have to put anything down. And then they just, you pay for it monthly. Pretty cool. All right. And every deal that you take advantage of puts you into the runnings for one of 30 amazing prizes. There are some terms and conditions that apply, but you can go into the store to get more details, to get these buys, these special deals, and ensure that you get entered in the raffle. So everything from home broadband to the super fast fiber internet. That's your Digicel Plus. You've got prepaid Samsung A17 with a 10-day plan. Again, that's only $249. If you sign up for postpaid, you get your first 2 months at 50% off. So that's only $10.69 per month, with tons of football and sports content directly delivered to your phone. Existing customers not to be left out. Not only do you get this no down payment handset financing for good customers who have been with Digicel for over 2 years, but you also get a second line. You can add a second line for only $50 per month. So lots of deals, Christmas offers. You can top up, for example, $20 or more for a chance to win a new Samsung A36. If you activate a 7-day plan or higher, you have a chance to win a new Samsung A36. That's a prepaid. And then postpaid customers, if you upgrade your postpaid plan, you have a chance to win a new phone. Wowee. And if you upgrade your phone, you have a chance to win a new iPhone. So these are some deals that they have on. Pay your bills on time and in full for a chance to win a new iPhone. So these are all the raffles. They've got a different means of enjoying the Christmas season where you can actually win. And the D Plus, if you upgrade your home internet plan, you have a chance to also win a new iPhone. And you also pay your bill in full and on time. You also get entered to win. So they're going to do 10 drawings per week until December the 31st. They're going to select the prizes based on the offer the customer took advantage of or transaction conducted. And then a representative on behalf of Digicel will contact the winners to let them know what prize they've won and how they can visit the Digicel store in Camana Bay to collect the prizes. Now, don't forget, the customer appreciation is coming up on Saturday, December the 13th. It's all day from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. at the Digicel Camana Bay location. They're going to be doing giveaways, refreshments all day, lots of excitement and fun activities. You can take pictures with Santa from 11 until 1. Spin the wheel, prize giveaways as well. So you can get some cool Digicel swag for phones, etc. So yeah, go and check Digicel out. Hashtag Real Connections for also a chance to win if you hashtag them on your social media platforms also. So do not miss out on this amazing opportunity to get some specials during the holiday season with Digicel. I like it. Love it, love it, love it. Nothing beats a good tech deal. And who doesn't need a new phone upgrade this time of year? You know what I'm saying? Or some super fast fiber internet as well. So absolutely love this. If you have any questions, you can visit your local Digicel store. They are waiting to answer all of your queries. All right, fantastic. So Christmas is coming up fast. Oh my gosh, today's the 13th. Hold on. Let me do my Christmas countdown. So we have the Christmas music is already going. 15 days, 13 hours, 37 minutes, and 23 seconds until Christmas. Wow. It's coming, and it's coming fast. So get ready, folks.
Christmas, the season of love, laughter, and just a little bit of chaos. Sometimes the ham has other plans, and sometimes the road to Christmas cheer feels longer than the 12 days themselves. Was it 3 eggs or 4? Better call Granny, she always knows. But in the rush and the mix-ups, it's easy to forget what matters most. Christmas isn't about perfection, it's about real connection. This Christmas runs on Real Connection, only with Digicel.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.